Hello, all. This is not just any story. This is my personal work story. So, when I was younger, I did a lot of security work. Different places, different times. Some in the middle of the night, some in broad daylight. One of them that stood out was a cannery. Now, the reason this cannery stood out so much is because it was a creepy place. It was a place that had been around for a very long time. A place where bad things had happened in the past. A place where people did die. Now, you wouldn't think of a cannery as being a creepy place, but it was. During the times when people were there, it wasn't so bad. It's during the off-season when there were no workers there unless absolutely needed. That's when things got real. Now, one thing I need you guys to know is we did run a test, a coworker and myself. It would be off-season, and we would be wondering why a set of lights would go on and off when no one is on property. We would go up to check. We would go different entrances, different routes, just to make sure that we were going to be able to see if anybody was there and catch what they were doing. Well, turns out it wasn't a person, more of an entity, if you will. We went up there. We threw hats across the floor to try and trigger the sensors because these lights were motion activated. They had sensors that when people would come in, they would know what to do and turn the lights on. Well, we threw hats, trash, damn near everything to try and get the sensors to go off so we could disprove the creepiness that was happening. But we weren't able to, unfortunately. Now, after seeing that happen multiple times and not knowing what was going on, there was a time where I was patrolling. I was out doing a patrol of the property before doing my internal run to assure that the doors were locked. Lights off. Make sure a fire wasn't going to start or that no pertinent doors and information that shouldn't have been out in view of anyone sneaking around would be accessible. Well, I'm going through this building and I'm locking up doors. Verifying first that they're locked. If they're not, then locking them. And I get to the end of a long hallway where there's about 4 offices. And at this job, I won't give my real name, but I'll say everybody knew me as Jason. But everybody there called me Jason, and no one knew my nickname of Jay. Well, so I'm locking up the offices. There was a couple that were left unlocked. One that I had to open and turn the lights off. And when I open the door, I look around, verify that no one's in there. Verify that no one's in the area that I am in either. No one was in either of the areas. The common hallway or the office. And right as I'm shutting the door, I turn the light off. And right as I'm shutting the door, I hear my nickname whispered in my ear by a voice that I have never heard before. It sounded almost female, but I wasn't sure because it was still fairly deep toned for being a whisper. And I'm not gonna lie, at that point I kind of bolted out and just took off. I couldn't deal with that. There was only one other time I heard my name whispered in my ear, and that's when I was about to fall asleep back when I lived in my parents' haunted ass house. After that, we would hear a lot of noise, see a lot of shadow figures, have the lights still turning on and off on their own. Well, on, since they automatically go off in the lunchroom, which is where we would see the lights going on, but no one there. It was a very eerie place to work, and if I had to go back, I definitely wouldn't. I try and stay as far away from that place as I can, because I can only imagine what would have happened if, instead of shutting that door and booking out, if I would have opened it. What can of worms I would have opened up, what I would have brought into this world, what the hell it even was trying to get my attention.